Do 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 do. Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to Keith's Custom Wood Creations with your host, Keith himself. That's right. You clicked on the button because you saw something you liked. Was it this? This right here? Yeah. This here's a custom mantle I built out of pine. I distressed it with some grooves and marks in it. I put some espresso stain from Minwax, coated with brie wax on top of that. I burned it a little bit to pop out some of the grain to kind of give it that aged look. Customer wanted it 72 inches long and 7 inches deep. And I bet you're curious on how I built it. Well, you stay tuned and I'm going to show you how right here. Let's go. Keith's Custom Wood Creations. What? Hey, did someone say Keith's Custom Wood Creations? That's right. That's me. I'm Keith. I'm here bringing you another video on how to do a custom wood mantle. We've got a couple pieces of lumber right here. We're going to use some pine, 3/4 inch pine. Yeah, that's right. Some good old pine. Why? Well, that's kind of what the customer wanted. Actually, pine's really easy to work with when you're doing mantles. They wanted to have an aged look, and we're going to do a lot of distressing to the wood to kind of give it that look. And pine works good for that. Y'all ready to watch this happen? Y'all stick around right there in your living room. Boy, I feel like it's Christmas time. We're opening up a present over here. Oh yeah, get this premium pine exposed. There's one. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna be cutting this down to 7 inches all the way around. Why? Well, 7 inches kind of come across that wall just fine. You know, you don't want it to stick out too much, but at the same time, you want it to make sure it makes a statement on the wall. You want a nice, beautiful thickness above the fireplace, and that's what we're gonna give my customer. Because over at the table saw, we're about to make our first cut. All right, we're gonna get this saw blade up, and we're gonna get a good old tape measure, and we're gonna look at number 7. That's 7 inches. We're gonna set this guard right here. So right there at 7 inches. That's right. Not 6 3/4, not 7 1/4, hell, not even 7 1/8. We said 7. 7 inches is what we're gonna make this thing. All right, now a trick on before you cut any wood for a specialty item like this is you're gonna look at the face of this wood. You're gonna say, hey, what was gonna be facing the living room and what's gonna look good? What's gonna have character? Because that's what you want to make sure you focus. That's what your piece. The other pieces are going to wrap and they're going to do their justice. But the front of that thing needs to look marvelous. So we talked to the client and said, hey, I showed you the wood I'm using. He said, yes, that looks good. We're going to use this section right here where it has a lot of the knots, has a lot of the grain. It's got a lot of character to it. It's going to look real nice on the front of his mantle. Oh, it's cutting time. You got your good old custom wood glasses. Got to think safety. Protect those eyes. Let's get that dust collection going. That's my sewing machine back there. Y'all wonder. Does a lot of good justice. We're gonna turn our cut blade on. Put it up against the fence. And we're gonna cut away. Pieces right here. We got to make, whoops. It's all right. Everything's all right. I got padding on my floor, so everything's good. We got to do the end pieces, which is going to be a 7 inch by 7 inch. Now these boards are 72 inches, 6 foot is what the customer wanted. So they're already the length that we want. Now I just got to do the end caps, which is going to be just 2 of them. And we're going to do 7 inches one way and 7 inches the other way. Make a perfect 7-inch square. All right, we got the table saw set to a 45-degree angle. Now it's real important to get right on that edge of the board and make a nice clean cut. On this being the facing, I'm going to do a 45 on both sides. Biggest thing is just getting that first piece lined up where it's going to do just where you want. So you got to do a couple times just to kind of test it. See where you're at. Bring it over a little bit more. Right on it. That's perfect. So we're going to run this through. We're cutting the ends real quick. See how I do 45 on all of them? And now I'm doing this board here. Now they're all cut, so now you kind of see how it's all going to get put together right here. So all my 45s are done on the boards. I lay them upside down. I place them where they want to be when I flip them over. And what I'm going to do is, before I actually tape these, I'm going to use some tape to hold them together. But before I do that, I'm going to cut some spacers in here. And the spacers are going to just act as a knife support, make sure there's no bone, make sure there's nothing, it's all completely squared off like it needs to be. So that's what I'm fixing to do right now, is cut about 3. Got all 3 laid out here. I've got my end pieces, okay? And I've got 4 dividers that are going to get spaced down on here too. But first we're going to put this thing together. I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. I think everybody's pretty much has maybe seen this done. Everybody has their own preference on how they put stuff together. Me, I just think, you know, I'm a one-man show. Why not make it as easy as I possibly can for myself? So what I do is I line up the cut 45-degree angles together on how it's going to be laid out. I take some good old, you know, paint tape, and I'm going to just put some tape along the top of here. And I want it to be nice and flush, flat, but squeezed up against it, okay? I'm going to do a bunch of these because I want this thing to hold itself together. And of course, one piece of tape isn't going to do it. So you want to do multiple down here just to give it a nice, good support. You want to make sure it's nice and squeezed together, but not overlapping. You don't want it to be sitting up like that piece was a little high. You want to make sure it's nice and flat. It's real important as you go down that these things are flat because when you flip it over and you bend it, it's going to be how they're going to lay in. All right. All right, take your lovely glue stick, smooth out your glue. I'm going to go ahead and glue all 3 sides. And the reason why I don't cut them all the way to the edge is because this is a floating mantle, okay? So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to cut and I'm going to put an attachment on it to allow it to be able to be mounted onto the wall just fine. So that way, if I ever wanted to take off, you could, or I could permanently put it down. But it gives me room to be able to put that brace in here so where it'll notch itself over on that piece there. So, all right, now. Now we put our old trusty clamps down on here just to hold it in place for a little bit. I put some accelerator on here too, so it'll actually probably dry up a little bit faster. That way we can kind of probably keep moving this on It's looking really, really good. Very, very pleased with it. Love the look of it. And then our 45s, our M pieces are going to go on here, and they're going to fit just nicely. Cap those up. All right, man, once you get everything put together now, man, looking good. Got the end caps on. Now to do a little trick. I'm going to kind of round over these edges so they'll actually kind of use the wood to actually bond and put together. So really you don't see the seam at all. It's going to be just a nice smooth little finish around it. My little trick is I use anything that is completely round and smooth, screwdriver, crowbar, anything that's round that don't have no grooves in it. Because what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to start like on the side here, and you're just going to go back and forth and just kind of, you know what, let me get you a little close up on this. I want you to see exactly what this is doing. All right, so we're over here and I'm showing you guys kind of what's going on. I'm just taking the screwdriver and look, I'm just kind of, you don't really have to put a lot of strength in it, but just to show you that it's already going to just make a huge difference and just kind of roll that edge over there. Some spots that have a little notch, you got to work a little bit. But for the most part, look at that. Seam is just going away. That right there, I'm going to have to sand that down because that being a knot, but I wanted that knot there. I wanted that knot to kind of give you that character, but it will be sanded down. Just kind of getting most of it all smoothed out. We still got a lot of fine tuning to do, but hey man, I'm knocking it all out. When we get the sander out, kind of sand some of these round edges here in just a minute. You see the inside here? Check it out. I've got the dividers all lined up on here. Nice. I've got plenty of space here so I can put my bar for the hanging part. That's going to be hung inside there. Man, but it's definitely looking nice. Excited to get this thing finished. Bringing some character, some color to it. I mean, just look at that. You know, I tell people when I build a mantle, I say, just look at that, would you? Very good over here. Now, just doing some wood filler. So before I do a final sanding on it, I always do the wood fill part first. You just want to take a little bit of your fingers and run it down there and let it fill itself in inside all these little cracks. Because that way when you sand this thing down, you're just not going to see much of anything but nice smooth wood. That's what we're doing. The fun part, sand time. We're going to sand this bad boy down and really, really nicely smooth out everything. And then after that, we get the destroy by putting all kinds of marks in it. This is fun. I'm using 180 grit sandpaper, so just want to knock it down real quick. I'm going to go back over with some finer 220, and then maybe even finish off with a little bit about 600, just to give a nice baby butt smooth feel. Man, that was a lot of sanding. But hey, it was well worth every bit of it. Now, take a look at this. It's coming right along. Nice look right here. That's the front of it. Got your top. Looking really good. Got it all flat and squared off. Back's all done. I'm going to put the piece in here in just a minute. But I'm going to distress it a little bit. I'm going to put some marks in it. Probably do little burn marks here and there. Just to kind of put a little bit of age to it. Now it's blowtorch time. So we're just basically going to take a blowtorch and just try to pop out some of these grain. Not a whole lot. They didn't want a whole lot to pop out. So. All right, we done burned it a little bit now. So didn't do a lot. Customer didn't want a whole lot burned into it. But you see how it's popping some of the grain out. A lot of it with the stain on top, it'll actually come out and look real nice. Got the top, I did everything, just kind of hit the knots and burned it so it just kind of looked like a nice dark spot, like it was crisp in there. Yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah, check that out. Yeah, that's right. That's my little burn mark I put in everything. It's Keith's Custom Wood Creation stamp. It's official. I stamp every product I make. Just what I do. Got to get my name out there, and I want people to know when they see something nice, who built that. And when you look down, he's like, oh yeah, who's this Keith guy? This Keith Custom Wood Creation guy. Man, I gotta hit him up. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on YouTube. Man, I've got all kinds of spots that you can find me at. But when you find me, just ask me to build you something. And I'll go to town and have some fun doing it. I promise it'll turn out nice and you'll be satisfied. I enjoy what I do. It's what I do here. It's all about making somebody happy. People helping people. That's it. Simple as that. You're right. All right. Well, we done burned it. We sanded it. We filled in all the grooves. We got ourselves a nice finish on here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to distress it even more. That's right. We got the old grinder. We're just going to go through and kind of make some, nicks and marks. That way it's a little bit deeper and you see some angles. It just kind of gives it that nice rough look to it. Let's see, let's start right here. There we go. All right, I got all the little grooves all done in here nicely, and I sanded them all out because you don't really want to leave the burn mark in them. You want to get that sanded out so the actual color can get put in there from the stain. But this here, I'm going to put some conditioner on it, and we're going to get moving right along. Like we're going to be getting done with this before you know it. All right. So by putting this stain conditioner on here, it's like it prevents the stain from having blotchy marks inside here. We want this to have a nice smooth transition through the whole thing. So we put this conditioner on here. Really just kind of protects it and gets it where it doesn't want to grab that stain right away and you have time to maneuver it and stuff. It's looking good. Yeah, here we are. I feel like we're almost to the finish line. Now you guys get to watch the stain go on. This is where everything starts to come to life. We're using Minwax stain. It's called Espresso. It's a kind of a darker brown. Just going to put one coat on it, wipe it off. I think that's what the client wants. It's what it looked like in the picture he sent me. And we're just trying to match it. Basically, it's going to look something similar to that piece right there. I just kind of did a sample. Looks real good. And I think it's going to make everything look good on here. So we're going to do a little wipe on and wipe off. A little Miyagi or a little Karate Kid or whatever you want to call it. Here we go. With that stain conditioner on there to help out, and it'll make it look really easy to put on. So basically, we're just going to take and wipe this on, just like what you see. And you got to come right behind here, and you got to wipe it right off. Wax on, wax off. Just one coat. That's it. One coat. One coat. Get in the grooves and wipe it off. Get in here and wipe off, wipe off. Oh yeah, it's fun. Is this fun or what, guys? Put it on, wax off, and you wax off. And put it on, put it on, put it on, and wipe off. Yeah, just like that. Real quick and easy. I'm using 600 grit sandpaper. Why? Well, I want it to be nice and smooth. Well, don't you? Wouldn't you want your mantle to be nice and smooth? All right, that's why we're using 600. So 600, what it does, it also be taking off a little bit of layers of the sandpaper. That way it isn't really as dark. But yeah, man, this thing's looking real good. I can't wait to put the brie wax on it. That's when it's gonna really pop. Yeah, that's right. Let me introduce you to brie wax. So this stuff is pretty dang amazing. There's a lot of finishes. I use a variety of finishes. I use Rubio Monaco. I use brie wax. You've got tungle, you've got a bunch of different stuff that you can put on finishes, but I seem to always lean toward the brie wax unless I'm doing a real nice like a table or something. I will use Rubio Monaco to do that. So inside here, like I said, I ain't sponsored by nobody. I just enjoy what I do, and I'm going to show you this little bit of, it's kind of like a paste wax type thing. You don't want to keep it in a hot environment. It says you got to keep it like at 70 65 degrees or less. Anything above that really starts to kind of melt because it's just like wax is really what it is. So I'm just gonna take some, put on this little cloth right here, just a little gooby on that, and just massage it. I used to do like circles. And then just kind of massage it in. What you're doing is you're getting inside all the grooves, and you're just going to put that nice finish on it. See, it's kind of lightening it up a little bit too. Let's take some of the stain off so you don't have to worry about being too dark. Smells good too. And then after you put it on, you let it sit for just a minute, and then you take another towel and you wax it off. Like I said, it's just like kind of a waxing your car, you know. You put a nice coat on it, let it set, and it gets inside all the little grooves, and then you come back and polish it off, and man, it gives it a nice smooth textured feeling on top of the surface here. Now I still got to do got a towel. All right, so just like you put it on, you take it off by just doing the circular motion and put a little effort behind, a little elbow grease. Elbow grease ain't never hurt in anybody's life, but man, yeah, see, taking off a little bit more. Back again. Oh yeah, it's getting smooth. Woo, it's getting real smooth. I'll do this side. All right, switch. That second pass, pretty cool, huh? And y'all got to watch me do it. Yeah, I kind of broke a little sweat there. You know, that ain't always easy, but I'll tell you what, this right here is a beautiful finish. I might put another polisher coat on it, just depends. I'm gonna let that soak in and dry. Give it some time, and then, but now I'm gonna build the back piece real quick. It's just 2 cuts. We're gonna make a long strip, and we'll do a 45 on both sides, and then we'll glue it in there and it'll be good to go. All right, so I've got the pieces cut. So what I'm going to do is I have 2 cut pieces, and they're both at 45s. So one's going to get mounted underneath here, and then the other one gets mounted against the wall. Okay, that way when you pick this up, you take and drop it, it will drop right down and lock right into place. Perfect. Easy. Why not? Looking marvelous. All right, yeah, that's on there. All right, and you know what else I'm going to probably end up doing? I'm going to put a brad nail in this thing just to give it There we go. Well, we are all done, folks. That's it. Another creation built by Keith himself right here in the shop, coming straight out of Pace, Florida. That's where my shop's at. That's where I do my custom work. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, if you've liked the video, subscribe. Click the button down low. Subscribe to my channel. That'd be awesome. Share it. Share it to some people that you might think might be interested in something like this or anything on my channel. I'm always up for a challenge, but hey, like it, make a comment. Man, whatever you want to do, just keep up with me, and you guys have more videos coming your way. If you guys stay tuned and follow my channel, I promise you I'm going to give you some cool little things I'm going to build in the future. I've got a couple more things I've got in the back screen right here that I'm working on. You're going to see those videos too. But guys, hey, I want to thank you again for watching my channel. It's Keith right here from Keith's Custom Wood Creations. That's right.